Welcome back to another Soflex Math lesson. Today we're still in multiplication unit, but we're going to talk about the lattice method. So before we did the standard algorithm, which is kind of the standard rules. This one's a little bit different. This way is probably one of my favorites. However, drawing the boxes is kind of more difficult than the actual math. So the way it works is you are going to take a multiplication problem, and we'll go through all the different types again. So we'll start with this 2 by 1. So 46 times 7. So I wrote it the normal way. That's the way you'd probably see it on a worksheet or on a test. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a box for each of the place values. So 46, so we're going to have a box for the tens and a box for the ones. So 46, and then the second number is going to go along the side. In this case, we only have one number, so that's a 7, so we only need one going down. Okay, and then you're just going to divide each of your squares diagonally, so going across diagonally, in half. And then you're just going to work on your multiplication facts. So this is a way, as we go through it, where as long as you know your multiplication facts, it's pretty easy to solve these. And you'll see that you'll be able to solve them in any order. So take a look here. So our first number here is a 7. So 7 times 6 is 42. So think of this as the tens column and the ones column, 42. So we see how we're doing like almost like a multiplication chart. 7 times 6 is 42, and then we're going to go to the other one. 7 times 4, which is 28. Okay, so I could have done this one first. I could have done 7 times 4. We just have to know where to put it. We're kind of matching it up. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add from right to left just like normal. So each one of these rows is kind of like a street. So our first number in this first row is simply a 2. Okay, the second one is, see how, hopefully you can see how this is in the same row, 8 and the 4 going diagonally. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So we'll write down our next 2, and then we're going to carry our 1 just like we would in the normal algorithm. And then our last two numbers are 2 plus 1, which is 3. So we're just going to rewrite our answer here. So the answer to this is 322, and you could check it. 7 times 4 is 42. Once again, carry the 4. All right, 28 plus the 4, 32. So you'll notice how this is two different methods. So if I solved it this way and I solved it this way and got the same answer, I can be pretty confident that I did this correctly. All right, so let's look at another example where we have some more numbers to see how to draw the boxes. But you're going to follow the same method no matter which way you do that. So for this example, we have a 3-digit number. So we have 582 times 6. So place value 5, 1 box, 8, 1 box, 2, 1 box, and we still are only doing times 6 or 1 down. So we'll do 1 down times 6. All right, and I'm just going to prove to you that we can go in any order as long as we match up our answers. So I'm going to start in the middle. 8 times 6 is 48. So I am going to start by writing my 48 in the middle box. Okay, then I'll do 6 times 2, which is 12. And then 6 times 5, which is 30. Another good reason to do this method is see how easy it is to check your facts. So if you're sitting with a parent or a teacher or a friend even, they can real quickly, if you wrote 46 here, they can real quickly see, oh, you messed up this problem because this should be 48, you wrote 46. They can real quickly check and see where your error is. So I kind of like that method. If all of these numbers are correct and you don't have the right final answer, that means you had some problems with the addition part. So it's real easy to pinpoint or locate if you made a mistake where exactly that may be. All right, we're going to start at the right again. So our first row, we have the number 2. All right, and I'm going to circle this next row just so you can kind of see what we're talking about. 8 plus 1 is 9. 4 plus 0. And then our last number by itself is 3. And then we're just going to rewrite that number, 3,492. Easy as that. And once again, you could obviously check it over here too if you wanted to check it a different way. All right. So there's our 3-digit by 1. So we've done a 2 by 1, a 3 by 1. So let's keep going and see some other methods and just kind of see what they look like when you have different amount of numbers in the top or bottom digit wise. Okay, so this time we have a 2-digit by 2. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is that we have 2 digits on the top and 2 on the bottom for the first time. So notice how I basically have like a window pane, some people call this. So I draw myself a big square, divide it into 4 sections, and then here's the tricky part. Make sure your lines go diagonally through. So this one is tricky because you have to have it go diagonally through both of those squares. And then our third column, like so. Okay? All right, and then I'm going to put my numbers to match up. So I'm going to start off with my top numbers, 52, and then my bottom numbers, 16. So kind of see, hopefully you can see how each one of these sections of the square is matched up with how many digits you have. So that's how you knew to draw it 2 across and 2 down. Okay? Same with this one. You can go in any order, but we're going to show you how to match it up, just like a multiplication chart. And a little bit different here. This is important. So 1 times 2 is 2, but we have 0 tens, so we have to make sure we put a 0 as a placeholder there. So we can't just write 2, 0, because that would be like 20. So 1 times 2 is 2, so 1 times 5 is not only 5, but for this purpose, or this method, it's 0, 5. And then 6 times 2 is 12. And then 6 times 5 is 30. And then all we're going to do is add diagonally down each one of these rows. So let me try using yellow just to kind of show you the different rows here. So hopefully, if I copy over these, once again, these are each one of these is adding down each one of these rows. Alright, so our first section all by itself is a 2. This time we have a 2, a 1, and a 0. So 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 0 is 3. 0, 5, and 3 in that row. Add those together, you get an 8. And then a 0 is obviously a 0. We can write it there just so we can see what we're doing. So the answer to this question, if we put it all together, is going to be 832. Okay? So that's how you'd set up a 2 by 2 multiplication problem. All right, and then we'll do our last one, which is a 3 by 2. So let's look at our last one. All right, so let's look at this 3 by 2. And in yellow, I've already done my estimate. So we talked about that in the previous lesson. So it's good to estimate. So it's kind of like our rounding from earlier. So 307 is about 300. 24, I rounded down to 20. So 300 times 20, my estimate is 6 plus 30, or 6,000. So now when I multiply through this, I'm going to hopefully get an answer of around 6,000. So let's write our place values. So 3, 0, and 7 for my top number going across the top, and then my bottom number goes on the side, 24. All right, and now I'm just going to start matching up the facts. So 7 times 2 is 14. 2 times 0 is 0, so I'm going to put a double 0. And then 2 times 3 is 6, so we're going to put a 0 and a 6. Our bottom row, so we go bottom row the same way. 7 times 4 is 28. 4 times 0 is always 0. And then 4 times 3 is 12. All right, so let's once again grab another color here. And let's see if we can see our rows here. So our first row all by itself is going to be the number 8. Our next row, 4, 2, and 0. 4 plus 2 is 6. 2, 0, 0, 1. See how there's 4 numbers in that next row or column. So 1 plus 2 is 3. And then 6 plus 1 plus 0, or 6 plus 1 is 7. And once again, placeholder 0. So the answer to this question is 7,368. And once again, our estimate was 6,000, 4 place values. Answer has 4 place values. And it's a little bit higher, which is good to know because we estimated low. There's an extra 7 here because we estimated 300. And there's an extra 4 here because we estimated 20. So that totally makes sense that our answer would indeed be larger than our estimate. But it still has 4 place values. So this is the Lattice method. Feel free to review it. And as you go through the worksheet pages, feel free as we go through all 4 methods to use any method that you like on any problem. But kind of try maybe on the algorithm page, try the algorithm. On the lattice page, try the lattice way. And our next way is going to be the area model. So just kind of try them each way, and then we get to the end or the quiz, then you can choose which method you personally like the best or which one you get the most success with. So thank you for watching Soflex Math, and ask questions in the comments and I'll be happy to answer those. And we'll see you in the next episode.